Trying to stop suddenly in Italy. TB. Turing brakes. It's like a Rockbuster, Carl.
They were the good old days.
I know, yeah. Painkiller on XFM 104.9. But look, Rockbusters is gone. Forget Rockbusters. Long live Songs of Phrase. Over to you, Carl.
Alright, well...
You know, Rockbusters was one of the things they were protesting about last time. that was why I just had to listen to them. They just kept stopping me in the street as I was trying to get to the tube. You've got to stop Rockbusters, it's run out of steam, they said, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's why they always do it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
They make their way to Leicester Square for 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Right.
Songs of Phrase. What it is...
Songs of Phrase.
We took a phrase from the show last week. It was, there's this airy Chinese kid, right?
Yeah.
Today, we're going back to the good old line of, about you never see an old man eating a Twix.
Sure.
Right?
How long is that?
No, you'll never see an old man eating a Twix.
You'll never see an old man eating a Twix.
It's not as many as you think, though. It's not that many.
Well, how is it not that many?
Right, well, first of all, anyway, don't worry about that. I think there's about 5, I think. Hang on a minute.
Oh, God. Why do we leave him alone to do this,
I don't
Steve?
understand.
Do you know what I mean? He always, it's like, I'll tell you what, we were flying them.
6 different songs.
6 different songs!
That's a lot to get, Carl.
But what happened is, I couldn't find a song with Twix, so we've changed the chocolate.
Oh, this is rubbish. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. No, you've got to be punished. We're not doing this. Do it next
no,
week.
you'll like it.
No, shut up, Carl. No, just
Well,
stop no, we're not
He's put a
doing
lot
it.
of effort in.
So what?
You're right.
He's got to do it right. He's got to do it right.
No.
There's too many. We said too many. It's not. He's changed the thing. It's not a one-off. It's ridiculous.
No,
it's
If
absolutely
only,
pointless.
Rick, if only his parents had spoken like that to him sometime in the past,
Do you know
maybe
what I mean?
we wouldn't
Right.
be in this discussion
You're not
now.
doing it.
Come on.
No, we're not doing it, Steve. What do you think?
I'll tell you, we've got the prizes, but I'm
Yeah.
not even going to bother giving. I'm not even going to
no,
bother.
no,
I think we'll just share them out amongst
right.
homeless.
Absolutely. No. There's troubles in the world, and I'm not going to let you faff around doing nonsense like that.
No, well,
it's ridiculous.
Well, let's do it for
No,
this
let's
week.
play a beautiful song. What do you think?
I'd love to hear a great song.
Yeah, the times they are changing. We've said that. Look at
Rick, I'm
Mother
beginning to wonder
Nature
if it's
on the run. Look at Mother Nature on the run, Steve.
Yeah.
Play it.
So we're not doing...
No.
It's your own fault.
Neil Young.
Beautiful.
After the Gold Rush, one of the most beautiful, poignant songs ever. I
Great
think.
lyrics in that. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. Forget the 1970s, Rick. I'm beginning to wonder if that's just as truthful nowadays in the year
I've told you
2003.
before, you've got no idea, you don't know anything about the world or politics, so
I don't know why you persist.
I don't know why I keep saying it myself, Rick. I'm a political incompetent. I don't know why I keep spouting on with this drivel.
Right.
It's the Guardian, I think, that's doing it to me. It's all second-hand information. I just read it in there, and I just
So it
think
was a good idea to
I
get
keep
on
thinking,
the,
exactly. I keep
get on
thinking
the
I can pass it
bandwagon.
off.
You don't
yeah.
really care, do you, about anything in the world, really, as long as it affects you?
I haven't exactly.
Yeah.
Unless
No.
I'm personally affected by these
Yeah.
things, I don't care less.
Well, I'm the same.
You
Now,
know.
Carl, the big question, as we know at the moment, is whether we're going to let you do Songs of Phrase or not.
Rick, I should tell you now,
mad.
there has been a flood of... Oh, no, there hasn't. Sorry, I was thinking there'd been a flood of emails, but it was people agreeing with you, Rick.
I know Tony Blair has been trying to get through.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just checking the emails. No, there's absolutely nothing supporting you,
So
Carl.
no one gives a side either way about
No, well,
that,
no, that's not
then?
fair. There were a couple of phone calls, weren't there? One was a guy saying you should. I think the other one was you, Carl. Was it phoning from the kitchen?
Can we do it? Can we do it? Right.
No.
If you don't like it, we won't do it next week, but,
But
the
you,
fact
but,
that I've
but
made it...
I don't know why you did that. I thought of lots of stuff that you could do. You chose one where you have to have 10 words and 6 songs to choose. You haven't got Twix. I don't know what you've substituted Twix for.
Okay, I mean, I've got to say now, I'm going to sit on the fence, so I'm quite intrigued.
Okay, right. What
to hear it.
what have you substituted Twix for?
Well, I can't
Well,
tell you.
here.
Because you can.
No, I can't, because people have to listen to it and work out.
All right, let's just hear it. Let's hear it then.
No. They know what they have to know what the word is. They have to tell what the song is or the
I
artist.
prefer just to play it.
No, you've got to tell them what it is because they might not even know what word they're
I think
looking
you should
for.
let's hear him out, Rick.
Right.
Please,
Right.
democracy. That's what we're fighting for. Come on.
Right, you turn them up.
Right. Okay, I've got the headphones on. Go on then.
Okay, so right, hang on. The phrase originally was
Is, you never see an old man eating a Twix.
right, and we're trying to identify a number of songs which you've used to make up that phrase.
And you email in xfm.co.uk/Ricky. with as many as you can get, and whoever gets the most right can
It's
win some
so
stuff.
complicated. This
It
is
is
so
not.
complicated.
Right, here we go. Here
It's
we
a-
go.
I'm baffled by the email address. I couldn't
What
figure
was
that
the
out.
email address again?
xfm.co.uk/Ricky.
Right.
Right?
And there's some link on there, is there? That
Yeah, that you
right.
just press and it comes through.
Brilliant.
That. Right, here we go then, right?
Well, I missed a little bit at the end. Let's hear it again. Let's hear it again.
Mars, bar, bar, bar.
Let's hear it again. Oh no.
Oh, God! Okay,
So-
right, we'd say the prizes, Steve.
Right, so how many songs were there? Do we
I
know?
think it was 6.
You think there was 6?
And you'll never see an old man eat. Oh, it might be 5.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
Anyway, why not email in the answers and how many there were, and you might be in with a chance of winning on DVD the original series of Citizen Smith with Robert Lindsay. That was good. Paul Whitehouse's Happiness, the first series of that on DVD. We've also got a couple of CDs here. The Best of Britpop, Live Forever, Oasis, Blur, Radiohead, and all the rest of them
That's
on there.
alright.
Supergrass's current album as well.
That's
I
alright.
think it's the current album. Yeah, it is. And
Okay.
less convinced by this one. If I tell you that some of the artists include Delamitri and Deacon Blue, then I know you'll be rushing out later, Rick, to buy this. Scotland Rocks, a compilation of.
Is wet on there?
Let's see.
What
the
about
Wets-
Biss? What happened to Biss?
Let me see. I'm not. I tell you, it doesn't. I mean, we've got Gun on there.
Oh, yeah.
We've got
Oh, baby, lately.
Aztec Camera.
Yeah.
Big Country, obviously.
Proclaimer's not on there.
Wait a minute, where's Runrig? There they are. There they are. And obviously Rafferty, Baker Street. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Brilliant.
So that's definitely worth entering for, surely.
So xfm.co.uk/Ricky. Play it one more time,
Yeah.
just right.
Class. Pure class. Well done. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Play
we'll give it
record.
to you.
Brilliant. Right, now listen, so that's that done.
Yeah.
We've done that as well.
Yeah.
We're running out of time, we've got
Okay.
like 5 minutes left. Winner for Songs of Phrase.
Alright, give us the answers.
Right. We did this at the start, we haven't even got time for the film thing today. Oh. But, we'll do that next week. Songs of Phrase, it was a phrase, you never see an old man eating a Twix.
I love the fact that we haven't got time. Like we've had such important stuff, and it's been so jam packed and interesting. Not that it's been drivel with gaps we could have filled much better.
Yeah.
Don't look at it like that. Like oh,
What, with his film quiz? Come on.
oh dear.
So, Songs of Phrase, you never see an old man eating a Twix. We had to change it to Mars Bar. Here's what we had. Jerry and the Pacemakers. Echo and the Bunnymen. Something like
David Bowie.
David Bowie. And the Beach Boys finished it.
Oh, what do you mean? I thought that one was. What do you mean? Who's the winner? Oh, it doesn't matter. You got to give the answer. Who was that one? You didn't know it was us.
It was Neil Young, wasn't it?
Jim Crochet, is it? Old
Oh,
Man
yeah.
River, it's called. Jim Crochet. something.
Old Man River.
Yeah.
Jim Crochet sang Old Man River. I don't think so. What was it?
Who cares?
Right.
Well, people. I can't believe this. You.
Old Man River, it was.
Let's give the prize to.
Jim Crochet wouldn't have sung Old Man River.
Or let's give the.
That was Paul Robeson.
Let's give the prize to Mitchell Sterling, who has got some of the answers right.
On XFM 104.9.
And we'll be playing that great quiz again next week.
Next week. With Ricky Gervais with it on XFM's Force. And if you want to send an email, it's rickygervais.com. Or check out the website on XFM's All the Comms. Good night, 3:30. Coming up is Daryl Levine and Stoopy Nouns. Bob Dylan. The times, they are a-changing.
The thing is, Rick, it makes me wonder if the times, are they changing? I mean, it seems to me that life's pretty much the same as it was way back in the 60s when Bob Dylan wrote that song.
Got any idea what you're talking about?
No idea whatsoever,
You
Rick.
don't really know about politics, do
No,
you?
know anything about it. Don't even read the papers. Got no interest, really.
Yeah.
Not particularly informed. My life's cushy. Won some awards and stuff. Doesn't bother me. So,
On a serious note,
everyone.
though, it is a bit worrying. I
What?
want somebody to put my... Do I have to get gas masks or something?
No, because there are guys out there in Leicester Square today wearing novelty hats. If they don't sort this war out, then no one can.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about it anymore.
you would worry about it.
I would worry about it.
Well, you, maybe Steve.
Why?
Sort of people who are successful are worrying about it more than other people. Just
Go
because,
on.
well, they've got more to lose, haven't they?
Right.
No, do you know what I mean? You see, like, Bruce Willis on the telly saying, oh, it's not good, is it? And it's because he's got a big house and loads of cars. If you live, you know, on a council estate, it's like, well, if it gets bombed, probably doing us all a favour, we'll get nice new blocks of flats to live in and that. It happened with Manchester, with the bomb that happened, and they bombed the Arndale Centre. Did us a favour. Got a nice new Marks and Spencers and that.
So hold on, this puts a whole new twist to the argument when people say bombing the world's poorest countries is wrong. Because I remember when the Afghan problem was on, people were saying bombing the world's poorest country is wrong, but it's like home improvement, according to you, then.
Yeah. Because they've got a brand new B&Q, have they, over now? They're popping down there every Sunday.
Anyway, let's not go on about it.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Well, think what you're saying.
yeah, I know.
My family was killed, but look, a carpet warehouse.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think, you know, people don't want to hear about this today from us. They want to hear, you know, the new features, the songs of phrase.
What song's a phrase?
It's the feature we started last week,
Yeah.
where
Right.
we take clips of songs, we make up a phrase from the show.
I mean, a famous phrase, last week's world famous phrase was, there's this airy Chinese kid,
Yeah.
you'll remember.
Yes.
Well, it was called Crosswords last week, but Phil emailed in a good suggestion. He
Right.
said call it Songs of Phrase.
Brilliant.
Songs of phrase. Songs of phrase. Perfect.
So
Have we
we'll use
got,
that.
are we still going with cheapest chimps?
We're persevering with that, aren't we?
Got some cheapest chimps lined up. We'll be
Yeah.
doing that before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Great.
Again, who else can say that?
So good. So for the next 2 hours, everyone should just bury their head in the sand, ignore the world's problems, and enjoy features such as Cheapest Chimps and Songs of Phrase.
And a bit of cheering breaks.
Oh, class.
Oh.
Well, I was looking, you know, I'm a fan of going on the web and that.
Sure.
And there's inventions, right? We were talking about a few weeks ago, inventions that are out
Yeah.
there, and there's some that, you know, are well known by famous people who have brought
Yeah.
stuff out.
Do
and
you know why we didn't go on with this? Because I remember saying to you about Einstein, who thinks clever, you weren't impressed with it. I said Einstein, and you went, this is a quote, you went, Einstein, well, yeah. Now, I've never needed, you got it wrong, you went, I've never needed MC squared in my life, but the fella who made the video recorder, I watch one a week.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Brilliant.
And it's the fact that everybody's got one good idea in them,
Yeah.
right? Like Newton said about the apple.
Yeah.
I did Rockbusters,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And there was this thing that was on the website.
So they
right?
shouldn't be spending money on investigating sort of medical procedures that might help people. They
Yeah,
should be
because
spending it
that's-
on what, Carl?
Well, I found this thing, right, Ricky? Brilliant.
Yeah.
What it was, little sort of mops.
What?
Little mops, like little mop heads.
Like floor mops,
Yeah.
right?
Fit them on your cat feet. If you've got a cat, right? If you've got a little cat,
Yeah.
put these little things on the feet, and there was a picture of one, just like walking around the kitchen, like that, looking a bit like that.
Nick,
right?
you can't do looking like that
Yeah.
on the radio.
No, but it's just looking a bit sort of fed up, but he didn't really know what was going on. Walking around, you see like the woman of the house sat in the background having a cup of tea.
Yeah.
The cat's there walking about on the kitchen lino, mopping the floor. That's what I put my money into.
Can we get shares in this?
That's an invention.
How good is that?
Yeah.
Can we get shares in that?
It's good though, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, I'll market that. If so, I'll yeah, that's amazing. I just like the idea of people struggling with their cat to get. Hold on though, wait a minute.
Then,
what if I had a bad kidney?
Ah, well then it's worth paying £5 grand.
I suppose a year, because it would cost a cleaner that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's loads of other things out there that gets loads of praise.
Of course, you can stick a brush in its head and make it go down the toilet. It'll be genius, Carl.
No, but there's loads. You see, you say that. If Newton came up with it, you'd be loving it. And there'd be loads of them out there. And everything, right? That's what annoys me.
Imagine Newton coming up with that. Imagine Newton coming up with that, Carl. Think of it.
Well, there's other things that gets loads of praise. Penicillin. Everyone, who came up with that? Who came up with that?
Fleming, was it?
Yeah, so discovered it on a...
Right, I'm 30. Don't think I've ever used it. I've had Nurofen and Benylin. Right, so there's one thing. What something else was talking to you about?
Oh God, you like video? Okay, so video recording.
Telescope was another thing you seem to think's important.
Well, no, you asked me about great inventors. I know something, so I said Alexander Graham Bell, the telephone, everything from that, linked from that. John Logie Baird, television, Marconi, the radio. I said Galileo, I was naming you stuff. It wasn't that. I was just saying that I think those things are more important than Rockbusters. I think they're better ideas.
Telescope, even a telescope.
Carl, play a record, because there's a website, I must try and find it during this record. It's got loads of inventions, I think you're going to love it. Vicious from Lou Reed, always a joy.
Yeah, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Carl, someone pointed me in the direction of this website, and basically, I swear to God, these are real inventions, okay, that real inventors have, applied for patents for, you know, so that they own the copyright.
Why don't I come up with one, a real one,
yeah,
and then you do that
I
one,
think some of
and
these,
Carl has to vote on which he thinks the better invention.
I think some of these, Carl, you are going to be absolutely excited by. If you love the little mops that go on cat's feet, I think you'll be excited
well, I'll
by
throw
some
one
of
up to start with. Have you got one there ready?
Yeah.
The X-ray machine.
Alright.
Oh.
So we've got the X-ray machine on the one
X-ray
side.
machine, Carl. Think of that.
So, you've come to me
It
with this
doesn't need.
idea.
It goes through a painting because it doesn't need light. It excites. It can. You know, well, you know what an X-ray
So
machine
what's
can do.
happening is, right, I'm sort of head of some business, I've got a load of money.
Yeah.
You're coming to me with an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve's coming with me to an idea. I've got, say, £5 and
I've come with you. I said, look, I can do transvector operation. You go, I'm not interested. I said, my cat needs a kidney operation. You go, I'm not interested. Right? I've come with you with an X-ray. Meanwhile, Steve walks in with.
Well, firstly, I'm going to offer you, this is patent 5571247, you've got the X-ray machine, I'm going to come to you with the self-containing enclosure for protection from killer bees.
Tell me more.
Alright, well, it's like...
Tell me more!
Self-containing enclosure for protection from killer bees comprising an enclosure formed of a flexible, transparent plastic material, basically that will protect us from any killer bees that might be in the area. Useful?
Yeah.
Don't decide yet. Okay, I'll come up with another one. Refrigeration.
Refrigeration. The combination toy dog and vacuum cleaner. Let me read a bit more, don't judge yet. A toy dog closely resembling a real dog and having a hollow interior in which is mounted a vacuum cleaner having a suction hose which is retractable from the tail end of the dog. This enables vacuuming a dog after a haircut and grooming without causing fear to the dog. Because it thinks another dog is in the room.
Sorry. This is a decoy dog to make the dog not realise it's being vacuumed, thinking it's making a friend.
There's a picture of it.
Carl.
Do you see what we're talking about there? That's a dog that looks... It's a fake dog.
Also, do you see that why the cat with the mops is on Steve's side, and why sort of X-rays, refrigeration, things that are on my side, and Newton's and MC squared, as you... Can you see the difference in these can you see the pattern emerging and the difference?
Yeah, but you see, to me,
which are you impressed by? Are you impressed by the sanitary appliance for birds? Have a look at it. It's if you've got a domestic bird, maybe a budgerigar or something, but you're tired of it crapping everywhere. These are very tiny nappies that go on a
That is real, isn't it?
Pet. Look, there's a picture. There's a diagram.
Can I put the microwave up against that one? I know I need the big guns to come out now.
Carl, what are you thinking? I know you're
Budgie
excited.
nappies or the microwave?
It's weird because
Carl, are you tired of petting your dog or cat? I bet you are. That's why you need this patent pet petter. It is an arm on a piece of wood that will go up and down and stroke and pet your dog for you if you've not got time to do it.
Well, I can only put up interfere on the cancer cure against that one.
Exactly.
yeah. You see, a lot of these things,
These are all genuine inventions.
yeah. And if the time was right, we'd say get 'em made. Do you know what I mean? If there was a bad swarm in London, I'd be saying get the B-man on,
Yeah.
right?
What, lose the X-ray machines, I don't care about broken bones for now.
Well, at that moment in time, that would be more important than. Do you
Sure.
know what I mean? We know people have been stung. We don't need to look inside them.
Sure,
Do you know what I mean? It's all about. It's like the telescope now isn't impressive.
sure.
If you want to see something in the distance, get on the transport and go and see it. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to look at things in the distance.
Right,
Sure. Whereas budgie guys are shitting and pissing all over people's homes.
Could we put these... I'll tell you what, Carl. So it's looking at supernova and trying to find out more about the universe, its conception and its eventual end.
Forget that,
Or-
Rick, because I've got the cheese-filtered cigarette.
Oh, now tell me more.
This is a cigarette where the filter is actually made from cheese. Apparently, cheese acts as a very good filter for tobacco, so the smoke passes through the cheese, thus you will induce a kind of smoky cheese.
And also, smoking, you know, might make you a little bit peckish, and you can just nibble that, so there's no dog end
Perfect.
lying around the pavement. Or budgie shit. It's a cleaner place, and you haven't been stung.
Brilliant.
Right. Now, we got people to send in, a little thing for you last week, didn't we? The film Freaks.
A
You
little
got a few.
treat.
You got a few sent in. You watched it, did you?
Yeah.
Now, I should just point out that the film Freaks, for those that don't know, was a movie that was released, I think, in the... Well, actually, it was originally made in about 1932, something like that, and then it was
Banned for
delayed.
about
It was
50
banned
years.
for many years, because it did, in actual fact, feature, for want of a better phrase, real-life freaks.
Yeah.
Bearded ladies being one of the more kind of familiar
There's
ones.
a guy
and
without
there's
arms and
the guy without
legs.
arms, there's all sorts. And it was actually it's quite a tender film, isn't it? And actually portrays them as a kind of dysfunctional family. It's not exploitative in that sense. But what do you make of it, Carl?
Well, you were watching it for the Freaks, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I wish it does take a while to get onto it.
What do you mean?
Well, straight away I was disappointed, right? Because at the start, like, you put it in, it's like, oh, brilliant. Here we go, you know. I said to Suzanne, we'll watch this, we'll have a good night.
Yeah. Have a
And,
romantic night.
That's it, her birthday. You've got your gloves, now we're going to watch some Freaks.
So, put it on, and it starts off, and it's like, you know, the following film, you think, ooh, it's like following films rated 15, which means, you know, might contain scenes of violence, bad language, and sex.
Yeah.
Mention nothing about pinheads.
Right.
So I thought they missed a trick there.
Yeah.
to be honest, right? So I thought, well, let's carry on watching
And what
it.
exactly is a pinhead?
Oh, if you've seen it, you'd know.
Okay.
Right, so not the best thing in it either. So
Oh.
imagine that.
Okay, so you're watching it.
So sat there, I think, right, something comes on, and the little fella's on there, the little fella we were talking about, the Pillow Man.
Right.
Is
Shows
he the
his
best
face.
thing in it?
Now, what's the Pillow Man again?
He's a fella who years ago, he's got no arms and legs.
Right. He's
And
just
he
a torso.
Just
and a
rolls,
head.
yeah. And there's a scene where you see him sort of rolling a cigarette up, just using his mouth, and it's
Yeah.
like he lights it and stuff, and that's weird. And then what else is on it?
Smoking stench of growth.
And then there's a little fella on it who is fed up because he looks 5, but he's actually 34.
Right.
Right? But there's a woman who is 42 and looked 8. So they both had the opposite thing. They were both really fed up. And I kind of thought that shows that, you know, you always want what someone else has got.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So in
yeah.
a way, there's a story there
Yeah.
in that.
No, you described the same there.
No, it was like...
No, they both. You just said they both looked young, but they are actually both older.
No. This was like a little man
Yeah, who was
looked-
35
who was 35.
and looked 8,
Yeah.
and so did she.
No, well, the other way round then.
What? So she was an 8-year-old that looked 35?
Yeah. Oh, maybe not then.
Anyway,
No.
But that wasn't that weird. I kind of thought it's a slow start and that.
Yeah.
And then...
It's not a difficult film to follow.
no.
yeah, but I wasn't really listening to what it's all about. I was just looking at what they had. And they had like a fella who's running about on
What
just...
they had like he was shopping.
You know, they had a fella with no legs and he's running about on his hands. and sort of got about on a skateboard, talking to someone about it. They said that's how E.T. was done. There's actually a little fella in E.T.
Right.
who's just half of, sort of half a body.
Is that true?
I've no idea. I've never heard that before.
Why haven't we heard that before?
I've never heard that before.
I don't think he would fit in E.T. Because he's got no. Because where's the head? He's got no neck. E.T. It's a skinny little thing. There's no human neck couldn't fit in that skinny little neck.
Wow.
Well,
you sure it wasn't Kenny Baker up to his old tricks?
What are you talking about, Carl? There's a fella with no legs in E.T.
In E.T. they had two fellas, right? I think they had a little, a midget fella.
Right.
Who did it, and then I think he was off sick, and they were like, oh, you know, what else are we going to do?
So they saw a guy on a skateboard going by.
And said, do you fancy some work?
Right.
And he's done it. I think someone told me. I mean, it might be wrong.
Exactly.
Might be wrong.
He might be, mightn't it? I mean, you've never been wrong before, so I don't know why you'd be wrong there. So what's the worst thing in it?
Now, it's intriguing to me because here's a film called Freaks, featuring real-life freaks, and you're sort of a bit nonplussed by it.
Just because it wasn't, because it's built up. If you call a video Freaks, you've got to make sure that there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
What were you disappointed about? Was it that?
Because there was a few things on it, right? There was a woman who said she was half man, half woman, and it's like, well, you're not, are you? It was just like she had some makeup on. I thought, well, that's rubbish. And then there was a woman who could eat using her feet. That isn't that freaky. Do you know what I mean? If she's not hungry, she looks normal.
Yeah.
And that's when I was thinking, I mean, I'm not being right, Steve. You know I'm not being funny.
Oh, here we go.
No, but I'm just saying, if that woman wasn't eating and you were sat next to her in that film,
Yeah.
I'd probably be sort of drawn to you more than her. I'm not... I know you hate me saying it, but there's no point sort of pretending. Do you know what I mean?
Oi, Muttley, what are you sniggering about?
The fact that it's... What, you mean there were things in it that were less... What are you saying?
I'm just saying...
Play a record. Seriously, I'll slap you. I'm going to slap you live on air.
Yeah, but you always go...
I'm slapping you live on air, I swear to God.
Alright, play a song then.
He's playing a song.
I'll play the song.
Keep the finger up.
No.
Keep the finger up. It's time for Rockbusters, the quiz that no one looks forward to, and we've got, as usual, the bunch of CDs, DVDs, I should say, which
Just tell me we have got another copy of Ladder 49.
Ladder 49's right here. That's
Brilliant.
in the mix, yeah.
How many did they send you?
Joaquin Phoenix, John Travolta, Ladder 49, the movie that no one's seen.
Yeah,
I've never met anyone who's seen it.
but it's owned by every single XFM listener.
Exactly. Also in the mix, as I said before, we've got Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which, if you haven't seen that on telly, I'd be very surprised. French and Saunders at the movie, the best of all the French and Saunders movie spoofs, which is, I think, on TV every single night.
Yeah. It's a very gay giveaway so far,
It's a
isn't
very
it?
good- well, this
got
one-
Ladder
this one-
49, the people in uniform, you got Queen of the Desert and French and Saunders,
Well,
the gays love them.
You know how much a fan of Chevy Chase. You know I love Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Well, we've also got here National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2, which doesn't feature Chevy Chase. It was so bad, even Chevy wouldn't agree to be in it, so instead Randy Quaid, who plays Cousin Eddie, it's him.
Right.
And on the back I notice it says, special appearance by Eric Idle.
Brilliant.
I mean, let's be honest, if a film's got a special appearance by Eric Idle,
I know.
it's probably not classic, is all
Do you
I'm
reckon they
saying.
do, always walk on the... look on the bright side of life?
Anyway, that's just some of the DVDs which you can win. And obviously, the real reason you should enter is because you go forward to this big prize draw, which is in our last show, where you can win some actual quality.
Yeah, a signed Matt Groening drawing, and if you can see him drawing that on rickygervais.com, it's totally genuine. It's there, him actually drawing it in front of your very eyes. Also, us made us Flanimals, and a signed poster by Nigel Tufnell. Christopher Guest.
Sure.
So proper good prizes.
Yep.
Just that this is, I think it should be the last one to get into it. Maybe next week, the 4 that we've got get down to 2 maybe, and then we get them on the line in the last, what do you think?
Well, I'll be honest, I wish we'd thought it through. I don't know about you, but I wish we thought this
Chris
whole thing through.
Campling, if he's got any ideas to how this show could have run, see, we should have scripted this.
What we said, we just said the go in a drawer, didn't we?
Did we?
So
Yeah, we hadn't thought it through though.
but we can't keep swapping and changing.
Well, we haven't
we can
done
do what
it
we
yet.
want.
We can do what we want, yeah. You know how many BAFTAs we've won? We can do exactly what we want.
High five.
Well, listen. Right, let's get down to business then.
Right, so Rockbusters, let's explain briefly what this quiz is for those that have only just started listening to the show.
It's basically blockbusters.
Well, you say that, Rick, but it's not, is it? I mean, that Blockbusters made sense.
Yeah, well,
It's just incoherent.
Carl thinks this is a cryptic clue going, right, a fella is walking along and oh, look, there's the fish. What does that mean? Trout sinners.
Some of them are hard because they've dug them all out.
Some are hard because they don't make sense.
No, but they've dug them all out because they're going to put them all on the website for people to play along with, and they came to me for the answers, and some of them are pretty tricky. I couldn't answer them. So
I love that.
Anyway,
the only man that can outwit himself.
Right then. So the first one then. Here we go. Why don't you borrow some land off Mr. Boardman or Mr. Laurel or Mr. Fletcher? Alright? Why don't you borrow a little bit of land?
Oh, it's changed already.
Already changed.
Already
off
changed.
Mr. Boardman.
Well, no, do it again. Do it exactly the same each time. Do it again.
Why don't you borrow some land off Mr. Boardman or Mr. Laurel or Mr. Fletcher if you need a bit of it?
What's changing?
Okay, and what are the initials?
Right, LS. LS, that's a band or an artist. Who am I talking about? Second one. I'm gonna,
sorry, he's got a sweet in his mouth.
I'm gonna annoy those seabirds over there. Right.
I'm going to annoy those seabirds over there.
Well, just those seabirds, it doesn't matter where they are. I'm gonna annoy them seabirds.
I don't know what he's talking about anymore, Steve. Honestly.
B is the initial.
I love the fact that he was fascinated by the strangest village in Britain, but the stories he's told us about where he comes from, there's him going around with two fellas with big heads, webbed feet, a little pigeon-chested bloke, him on his grifter with Maggie pecking at him, his dad in the telephone box nicking groceries, and a horse in the house next door. I mean, how strange was his upbringing? And him hanging from his satchel. Unbelievable.
There's another woman who I remembered. Actually, I'll tell you later.
Go on, what?
I'll tell you later about another woman who I remembered.
What is this? Give us a teaser.
It's just a woman who rode around on a three-wheeled bike with her husband in a basket. Right, I'll tell you that. Right, and the final
You don't get
clue.
teasers like that on the other radio
That's a hell of a funeral service.
Right, listen. Right, the final clue. What the Scouse fella said to the robber who he found in his house next to his vineyard.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What? Again?
Right, so what the Scouse fella said...
Right, this is going to be a pronunciation thing.
...to the robber he found in his house...
Oh, God, I've lost the will to live. I want to get in that woman's basket on the street. We'll just be driven round the rest of my life.
The initials there, A-W. A-W. Who is it?
Give us the clues, give us the answers.
Right, the first one was, why don't you borrow a little bit of land off Mr. Boardman, or Mr. Laurel, or Mr. Fletcher?
Go on then.
Right, what am I getting at there? The initials were LS, right? Lease a Stan's field, right? Because you're borrowing it, that's leasing it. It's Stan Boardman, Stan Laurel, and it's a field and that, isn't it? Second one, I'm gonna annoy those seabirds. That was B. What you doing when you're annoying a bird? You're bugging it. What's a seabird? A gull. Buggles. Right? Bug gulls.
I don't know where to start, mate.
Right, don't worry about it.
I don't know where to start. If we had more time,
don't worry.
I'd throw him out of a window. Right.
What the Scouse fella said to the robber he found in his house next to his vineyard.
Go on then.
That was A-W.
Yeah.
That was A, me Winehouse. Right? A, me Winehouse.
What?
Me Winehouse.
What do you mean winehouse?
It's a vineyard, it's a cottage in a vineyard, so that's like a winehouse.
Say it again. What's the clue again?
Amy Winehouse.
Well, yeah, but what do you mean?
Amy.
Why is he saying? Why is it a robber?
Because the robber's getting in, and he's sort of saying, "Hey."
But what's the robber got to do with it? Why is it just a normal bloke? I don't tell you what. Why is he saying Amy Winehouse? Why is he saying that?
He's saying to him, "Hey, get out."
Well, no. Sorry, her name isn't A. Get out me Winehouse. Her name is her name isn't A. Get out me Winehouse.
Gavin Thompson got him.
Missy Elliott, Gossip Folks on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Now I know we're not meant to mention the adverts, and I'm not slagging off the advert. It's that National Lottery advert with the little Welsh fella saying your money from the National Lottery goes towards Mountain Rescue. We put it out there. We've saved a lot of people. Now that's fine. That's great. Well done. What I'm annoyed at is why those people are allowed to go up the mountain in the first place.
Yeah.
Don't go up there, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You're at your own risk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's ridiculous. Just posh, beardy twats climbing mountains and sticking a flag up there. Why climb? I don't want you to. I don't want you to.
Am I paying, is there any point, Rick, where I am paying for people to get rescued from mountains?
I'm not sure. I think the lottery's doing it now.
Fine, because I'll tell you, if it was my money, I would be living.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? I mean...
you should have to take out insurance if you want to climb up a mountain.
You should pay for it.
Yeah.
If we save you, it'll cost a lot of money. You owe you. I'll be paying it back for the rest of your life. That's the risk.
Yeah.
Not falling to your death.
Exactly.
But never being able to pay it. They're all posh and rich anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just like a cat gets stuck up a tree and the farmer come out because he doesn't know any better. Imagine if that was a bloke. I'm stuck up again. Stop going up there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying again, though. It's only a cat, so leave it up there. Get another one.
Absolutely. And there's the skeleton of Tiddles. I couldn't be bothered to go and get a ladder.
No, but it's the same. A few weeks ago, everyone was making a fuss over that sheep. That was the first cloned sheep, and it died. Clone another one.
Oh wow!
If only you could do the same with Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks the same, the beard's the same, they all look like Brian Blessed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you about the time that my father, when I was younger, we went on holiday, my dad he bought a little boat, little sort of wooden boat, make a 3-seater, and he and a friend of his went out with me in the boat. I was maybe 12 or 13. Went out, and we sort of I think we were on we had a little motor, outboard motor, chugging out. We just thought we thought this was real seafaring stuff.
Brilliant.
We'd lost sight of the beach because we'd gone round a corner of like a mountain, or like a like a cliff, and so we were just round the corner, and there was this buoy just floating in the water, not a boy, but like a buoy, and very tricky to explain that on the radio. It's the same word, isn't it?
Boy.
A boy, and a boy.
Yeah.
And so we float past that and we're just chugging along. The motor conks out. Oh, I can't believe it. We have to row back in. So they're rowing away, I'm just sat there. And we noticed that every time we sort of think we've got past this buoy, it just seems to be back where it started again. And we realised that the tide is taking us to, but not taking us out, taking us towards these rocks. And we've got ravaged rocks. And we were a bit pretty scared, because I can't swim very well, or I couldn't at the time. I think my dad had maybe bought, he didn't, I'll be honest with you, I inherited a lot of things from him, one of which was his carefulness with money. just the one life jacket.
How deep was the water?
Which I seem to remember he tore off my back and put on himself. So the water's pretty down. I mean, I'm not saying we would have necessarily died, but it was pretty scary, because the boat, we were going to crash into these rocks and stuff. It was getting pretty unnerving. And so they're sort of rowing like mad, trying to we're just not making any progress, and we're beginning to think that this might be the end. And this kind of ferry boat comes chugging by, doing tours, ching, 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 ching. And it comes by, and my dad goes, oh, wow. We were going, brilliant, they can help us, they'll throw us a rope, they'll tow us back in. He was going, you've got to be careful though, hang on, because according to the laws of the sea, if he rescues us, Steve, he can claim my boat. The laws of the sea mean he can claim my boat as salvage.
I love the idea of
that's like a reward.
Doing that.
But
The laws of the sea.
What I like is, his 12-year-old son might die, he's thinking about the boat.
I know, but also, the other thing, of course, is that I like the idea of this ferry master going,
Yeah.
the boat be mine now, or take your son.
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
I need a new bed. That'll be just right. King size.
Oh dear, that's lovely. Right. Okay. So, what was that thing I told you to look up in the week?
You were saying, I don't believe you were going on about, we were talking about the half man, half woman,
Yeah.
and you were saying...
You can get a sex change on the NHS, just to see what you say about that. Did you look it up?
I didn't, because I think I was wasting my time. I don't think you
I'm
can
giving
have that
all
done.
these things. Little play
Interesting
records
stuff.
to annoy
No,
me
but
now.
you wouldn't do that. You see,
You've
it's the other thing we were
annoyed
talking about.
Steve. You've annoyed Steve on air.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, it's just too late, Carl.
But we were talking about other stuff as well. I mean, talking about operations and that. You were saying, can you have a sex change done on the NHS and that?
No, you can.
Well, you say you can. I think that's a bit... It's not that important to have done, I don't think.
Well, it depends if you desperately want it. It depends if you feel that you're born actually a different sex.
Right. And then you went on to say there's other things that are done. Get this, Steve. Someone, if the cat's got a bad liver...
Kidney.
Right. Bad kidney. Can have it done for £5,000.
Yeah, you can have a kidney operation.
But what's wrong with that? If you've got £5,000 you want to waste it on a cat, then fine.
Get another one. We went through loads of cats, I've told you before, as a kid, we got through loads. It's not worth it, and there's no cat that is that amazing that you'd go, gonna miss that one. It's never gonna be the same. Cause
What do you mean? What would it have to be able to do to be worth it? Well, it's normally to do with people's affection for their cat. They've had the pet for many years. What do you mean? It should be able to juggle? Or do impressions, and that's why it's worth £5 grand?
Supposing there was a fella, right? He feels he was born a woman. He's not happy, right? He doesn't want this he's got a knob and a couple of testicles that he does not want, right? He wants a lovely pair of tits and a minge, right? And he finds out that he gets a cut price. He gets, a cut price sort of operation, a dodgy backstreet transsexual maker, right? £5 grand, knockdown price £5 grand. It's done with a blunt knife and some chloroform, right? But
why have you got to have it all done?
What? You mean just like have the knob trimmed and wear a bra?
Well, yeah. I mean, are you saying if you have it all done, you get some sort of offer if you give them something?
No. I was being flippant. I'm saying I was trying to get down to £5 grand. Supposing there was a fellow who had £5 grand to give away, right? Some old woman with her cat is going to die, or some fella who wants his knob chopped off and a lovely pair of tits put on. Who would you give the £5 grand to?
So, hang on a minute. So, there's a fella who wants to be a woman.
Yeah.
And there's a woman who's got an ill cat.
Yeah.
Ooh. You see, I'd be annoyed. Is this £5 grand? Is this my savings, or...?
No, just you get given £5 grand, and you go, but you've got to give it to a charity of your choice. And it's got to be one of them. You get given £5 grand.
I'll tell you what I'd do.
What?
I'd find out what the cat looks like, get a replacement, right? Say it's had the op. She's loving it, thinking it's happy again.
Yeah.
Give the fella the money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, so you're basically saying that you'd rather have the bloke have his knob cut off and stuff than
I'd have to have a chat with him first and say, what's your problem? And say, why do you need this doing? And
I think they go through that. I think they go to counselling and live with a woman for
like a second opinion thing. I'd just be saying, right, are you sure?
Yeah.
But £5 grand on a cat, even, it can only be for people who have got loads of money, right? And it's like, well, £5 grand, it's nothing.
Well, I think this debate will rage on. Should we play a record and come back to this? Think about it, though.
Yeah. Bit of White Stripes.
Placebo. Bitter End on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl, you're looking all flustered and confused again.
Still sort of don't get it.
What don't you get?
Well, that's a long list, Rick.
Yeah.
The, if you have your...
knob cut off.
Yeah.
It's because they feel like they're actually born a woman, and they're not living right. They can't live properly with all these things, Well, I mean, there are people that are genetically the other gender. They've just grown, There was one woman, actually, who was a scientist researching it and found out genetically she was a man. She had Y chromosomes, etc. But this is something different. This is both psychological and everything else.
Sometimes it's that thing again, isn't it? You can't always have, what you want. It's like, I'd like to have hair. Do you know what I mean?
But it's a bit easier. You can wear a wig. You can't go round, really. Well, you can put on, false breasts and tuck it in.
That's just it as well, isn't it, you see? You say, you could have the operation done and that, and yeah, you might sort of feel as free as a woman down below and that, but at the end of the day, you still look like a fella. Yeah,
here's a bra and a split tennis ball.
No.
They'd be just like Auntie Nora.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Well, yeah, but it's about their outward appearance as well and how they feel publicly. Don't forget, a transsexual is not a transvestite. This isn't just a builder in a dress. They have the hormone replacement as well, so they get estrogen, so they and electrolysis, so they have, their face looks different, they don't go bald, they're slighter, they you know what I mean? They're the real thing. A transsexual is now the real thing. Biologically and politically and...
But they'll still be a man, won't they?
Well, it'd be embarrassing if they don't tell their new partner and there's pictures of them, down the pub when they were 24, but you probably sort of get over that, don't you? They go, it's just a fella with a beard drinking the yard of ale. That was me.
Well, interesting story. Probably should have told you this before the honeymoon.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can have all that done, right? There's stuff, you could have your bits done, right? You can have, like, false teeth, but you know that when you see an old person with a good set of teeth, it's like, well, they're false. There's no way you've got good teeth like that if you were brought up in like the 30s.
But what would you do if Suzanne said, look, I've got a terrible secret, and she showed you a picture of this kid, this little boy, growing up, you know, playing football, and then the pictures stop at 20, just before you met her, and she goes, and she shows you a nice pair of bollocks in a jar, she goes, they were mine.
Well, first thing is he'd take back the gloves you bought her last week.
Would you go, oh, I can't go out with you now? Or would you say, well, you're the same person? I've blown his mind.
Yeah,
I really have freaked it out there.
She is into sport.
Hey? Should we play a record while you give her a call?
No, but look, what I'm saying is here, right, it doesn't matter what you have done, we can wrap this up here, because I've got it sorted, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you have done, at the end of the day, it's obvious that you've had it done. If you're a fella and you've been changed to a woman, I could spot you, right? If...
You can't, though.
I tell you what, I was at Suzanne's mum and dad's right up north last week, and I went to the off licence, right?
Yeah.
And I went in there, never seen this fella before, right? Soon as I walk in, I eye him up behind the counter and go, alright, mate.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
I notice he's got a wig on, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was... I kind of looked and I thought, yeah, it's a wig, whatever. And then I thought, I wonder if it is. And as I got to the till, I said, how much is that? He said, 50 pence. I said, great. And as he turned to the till...
Were you buying Suzanne a gift?
As he turned to the till and he did that sort of angle, you got the profile, you see the bit sticking out of the back, you go, that's a wig.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
And
it's like a little. It just the last inch just lifts away from the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, everybody who goes in that shop will probably know him as having a wig and that. He keeps him happy, but everybody knows. So, what I'm saying is, it's like...
But could I just say, transsexuals put in a little bit more effort than a fella who's plonked a rug on top and held it down with some duct tape. Do you know what I mean? You know, the only giveaway often with a transsexual is the big hands. They can't do anything about that. That's the only thing, you know.
Right,
But I mean, transvestites are different. You know, they are builders in the dress. You go in a supermarket, you turn around, you see a 6-foot woman, huge head. You go, all right, love. Do you know what I mean? You know, down below, she's packing more than us three put together.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what I mean? That's one thing. If Eddie Izzard, right? You're meeting Eddie Izzard, right? Who likes to pop on a dress now and again, right? What's the politics with that? Do you go? Because he walks in, he's all in evening gown, and he goes, all right, Carl. And you go, all right, Eddie, and it's in a busy pub, and you go, oh, why is he? And you go, do you say, do you want a pint of bitter, and slap him on the back like you would a mate, or do you go, that's lovely, that's a lovely dress? Do you know what I mean? What do you do? What do you do with a transvestite?
Would you compliment a transvestite
on their lovely dress
if he was wearing a nice dress? In the same way that you would if Suzanne was wearing
Probably
a nice
in a
frock?
different way. I'd probably say, that dress, you know, looks nice. Be even nicer on a woman.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So you try and change the way they think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd want to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of them things I can't get my head around, to be honest, right? I can handle hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Is it true to say that you've never been able to handle a transvestite?
So I'm just going to add that to the list then, Carl, of things you can't figure out. It's now 4 volumes. Snoop Doggy Dogg, obviously, in the classic What's My Name?
Yes. XFM 104.9. We've done that, so that's good. We've done...
So we've solved the whole transvestism issue.
Yeah, let me just check. We've done hairy Chinese kids, people having their knobs cut off.
I think we've touched on the war as well. We've sorted
done
that out.
We've done freaks, haven't we? We've done people with no arms and legs, haven't we?
Take that.
Just don't think there's any other areas of possible offence.
Have we done Forrest Gump in a wheelie bin? Well, we touched on your Auntie Nora, but haven't mentioned her fighting for 5 minutes, or her showing you her clunge. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if I think we might have.
I'd definitely like to hear the word clunge more often.
Yeah.
On this show.
Her Mary.
Anyway, leave that.
Yeah.
I'm still
Mary.
I'm still none the wiser on that, but We'll leave it.
I love the fact you are such a you're such an old man, aren't you? You're such a reactionary old man, the way you talk. You are the sort of bloke, I imagine you and your father stood in a pub, if a man came in a dress, oi, you're a bloke in a dress, take it off.
We were talking, I don't know, last week we were talking about things that you can sort of say and do when you're sort of like 40. I thought another one, nod to a policeman.
Yep. Definitely.
They're on the beat, they're going along, you're going your duty, you're going on, yeah, I know you're alright, I know you're alright.
Yeah.
Never mind these youngsters shouting at you and knocking your cap off.
Exactly.
It's that you can nod at
if
a
you're
copper.
40, you can nod at a copper, because it's like going, I know what you're up to, it's a difficult job and you're doing it well.
Yeah, I respect you now, I didn't when I was
Exactly.
young, I don't know what I was thinking of, well done mate.
Well, I like the one you mentioned last week, you're now of an age where a van driver might ask you to back him into a parking space.
Yeah, well, you don't feel, you go, get out
To
of the
me,
way.
he wouldn't even consider
No,
me.
get out of the way. Yeah.
If you're under 30, you don't even. It's like I was thinking the other day. If I was in a pub with my dad and say his mates, and they're all sort of 40 or 50, there is not one of them that would turn to me first with a pint of bitter and go, "Taste that. See if is that off?"
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't want
would
your
never
opinion.
consider me. My opinion is the last one they're interested in.
Yeah.
Is that off?
Things you can do over, I think, maybe 50. Wear a flat cap and not like a prat.
Yeah.
You know, you're wearing
It's
it
a
because your
fashion
head's
statement.
cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're wearing it because your head's cold. You're 50 years old, flat cap, fine.
Yeah, or just wear a suit and tie without having to go to an event or a convention
Just
or
get
to
up
work.
and pop on a little old suit and
just
tie.
pop on a suit and tie. 'cause
I'll tell you what, I love seeing old boys in a suit on Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've
Yeah.
got shiny shoes and they're 75.
I've got
and they go
photographs.
down the pub and I think it's brilliant.
I got photographs of one of my late grandfathers, he must have been in his 60s, on the beach, wearing a suit. Wearing a suit on the beach. I got a feeling he's even got a knotted handkerchief and a full three-piece suit.
That's great.
It's brilliant.
It's a decency all
My
time.
grandfather, in my mind, was always wearing a suit. I never saw
probably
him not wearing a
was.
suit. I think he wore a suit to bed. I can't imagine taking that suit off. It was always...
Maybe it was an all-in-one, pull-on one.
But he didn't... I mean, what the weird thing is, though, it wasn't like he worked in a bank all his life. I think he was a builder. And then he retired and thought, it's time I should start wearing a suit.
I know. Oh, I love it. Just, you know what I mean? It's because they've got to do something. Then they've got to get up and they make an effort, and they're still part of the world. As opposed to me already just walking around in my pants.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's no point in getting dressed. I'm not going out.
Yeah.
Or everything's got an elasticated waistband.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. You don't even consider a pair of trousers.
It's slip-on shoes, pull-on trousers.
Yeah.
Just
I have never seen a man with more Velcro in his closet. That has got to be for you the best time-saving device ever. Velcro.
It's great. Just me and a baby girl, a dry white baby. I went to the
Has your
awards.
tuxedo got Velcro?
Well, I was still talking about that. The award show. I went home. When did we stay there? We went to 12 or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
I went home and I was watching telly at the end, right? And I was eating. I had these sesame seeds 'cause I was hungry. I had a few, and in the end, at the bottom of this jar of sesame seeds, right? There's tiny little seeds, but I didn't want to waste them, so I sort of poured them into my mouth and sort of like ate them like millet, like a budgie binging.
Yeah.
I went to bed and got up the next day. I thought, I felt a bit sweaty. I had a resolve, and there was loads of seeds still in my chest.
What,
They
in
were
the hair on your chest?
Yeah. I had to pick them out. It took me ages to pick them out before I had a bath. So they must have stayed there all night, but not with the, with the cheese and alcohol that was coming through my pores. These seeds had, well, they started growing. I'd have to mow my chest. Oh dear.
Your girlfriend's a lucky woman.
Sesame seed chest. What we got, Carl?
Oh, do you remember we were also talking about names you cannot call kids now? It's it's like there are certain
I was
names.
thinking that, like, there's great old blokes' names, but they have to be a baby once.
Yeah, but
I name this child Alf.
you can.
Stan.
There are sort of these names which you just never name a child now. I mean, Carl, frankly, is
Oh, that's all right.
That is quite
Carl's
trendy.
good. Oh, but
Sid.
Sid.
Alf Sid. You would never name a child Sid. Stan.
Bert. I name this child Bert.
Did I ever tell you about my Uncle Alf?
No?
He wasn't a proper uncle, right? But he was just
Was he an aunt?
one of my dad's mates and
Yeah.
that. And he was getting on a bit. He must have been about 60, which is pretty old when you're younger and that. And he was the same. He used to always wear a suit and that, but it was never in good nick. It was always like a rough suit, but it doesn't matter. Still, making half the effort and that.
Yeah.
And he used to sleep in a dinghy. Right, my Uncle Alf.
What? In his house?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, in a flat, he's in like a little bed sit. Because he only had a little bed sit, and he was into boats and stuff. So he had this
Two
dinghy.
birds with one stone.
had this little dinghy, had a little flat, thought, well, it's tight space and that. He had a dinghy as a bed, and he had 2 tellies, right? He had 2 tellies, one that the sound worked on, the other one only the vision worked. So if you wanted to watch a programme,
You had to turn both on.
put them both on like BBC One, turned one up, and watched the other one.
Wow. That's extraordinary.
From his dinghy?
Sat in his dinghy.
That is brilliant.
It was an
just-
inflatable dinghy, it wasn't like a wooden.
Yeah, an inflatable one, yeah, big
Did
inflatable
you
one.
ever go around and visit him?
Yeah, now and again.
Was it weird seeing a 60-year-old bloke in a suit, in a dinghy inside, watching 2 tellies?
It's weird out
So,
at the time, I thought, nothing of
I
it.
just... but which of the TVs stopped working properly first? I mean, did he... let's say the sound went on one of them.
Yeah.
Did he carry on watching the other one, hoping that the other one was fine? Or
No, he
did
went and got a new telly, and then the vision went on that, and he went, oh no. He went, hold on though.
Wait a minute.
I've got another telly in the wardrobe that I haven't used, because it must have been like that.
Yeah.
Wow, he sounds brilliant. Is he
He's
still
alright.
alive?
Yeah, he's still around, yeah. I haven't seen him for years, but he used to,
Be alright.
Was he married?
Be alright. Be
yeah,
alright.
I think that's what happened. I think his wife passed away, and
Right.
that's when he had all this, he had a boat, and it's like, oh, where am I going to put it in a bed sit? And it was like, hang on a minute,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Sleep in that. So, yeah.
I wonder if he ever brought any women back. Just the idea of bringing them back. Getting down to it. Shall we move into the bedroom?
Ahoy! Oh, that is fantastic.
XFM 104.9, Dandy Warhol's Bohemian Like You. It's the Ricky Gervais show.
With Steve Merchant.
Yeah, exactly. And Carl, who's
Carl's
turned
in.
our microphones on.
We.
Can't believe it.
Good to see you, Carl. Good to see you, Ricky.
Cheers, cheers. Now, in a fun-filled and music-filled show, we've got music and fun.
Yes, looking forward to that.
2 hours, solid 2 hours. There's no gaps.
There's nothing.
There'll
There's
be no dead air.
There will be adverts sometimes.
There'll be
Obviously,
adverts, yeah, but I mean, that's what pays our wages, isn't it, really?
Certainly.
And some of the adverts I think are quite amusing.
Yes. No, I think they're the ones that you're on.
Yeah. We've got our hip-hop challenge, we've got Song for the Lover, Song for the Ladies, we've got a film review. So...
Magnificent. And any calls about that, Rick? Any maybe Channel 5 or someone onto you?
No, they haven't, no.
That's
no,
strange, that's
no,
weird.
No, but I think it's a bit ahead of its time because it's very unique.
Sure,
'Cause it's
sure,
not like other
individualistic,
film, is
yeah.
it? It's sort of like...
Yeah,
It's a bit out there.
Yeah,
Anything
well.
caught your eye this
Well,
week, Steve?
Rick, I know that both you and I are kind of obsessed with these people who believe in, people who can predict the future or
Yeah.
have got contact with the dead or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know Mystic Meg's a bit of a nonsense, but people do take her seriously. On the cover of The Sun today, Mystic Meg won me 15 million quid.
Wow.
Right, you're thinking, that's a pretty amazing claim. I know that Carl believes in Mystic Meg and all that sort of rubbish, You're thinking, wow, here at last is proof that she has got powers. And you wonder to yourself, well, maybe she predicted the numbers specifically, that would be a hell of a...
Just to him.
Yeah, which is incredible, which is absolutely incredible. And so there's this guy, lottery mad Tom Naylor, he's a lorry driver, right, he won 15 million quid.
Yeah.
He says, I always read my horoscope in The Sun and follow the advice. Basically, what Meg said was, keep a lottery ticket in a yellow mug to add luck. So you're thinking, right, okay, so he's kept his ticket in a yellow mug, that's still pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
I didn't have a yellow mug, says Tom, so I put the pages of my map book, so I put the ticket in the pages of my map book, which is yellow.
Right. He's used the yellow. No, he's used the yellow.
Yeah, no, see, I don't know much about how Mystic Meg works. I'm assuming maybe there's some kind of pseudoscience that she applies.
Yeah.
I think if she'd said, put it near anything yellow, fine.
Yeah.
She said, put it in a yellow mug. That's pretty specific.
Yeah.
From that, he's thought, well, I'll ignore Meg's advice. I always do what she says. If she says, put it in a yellow mug, I'll put it
she's had two sort of like, points of reference there. The descriptive, the yellowness of the object, and the object itself. The noun should be a mug.
Yeah.
What's missing in the yellow book is the mugness.
The mugness is one of the
it's got lots of bookness, but it wasn't the bookness that gave him the 15 million.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I reckon Mystic Meg won me 7.5 million.
Right.
Would have been a more
Right.
accurate.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, yeah. So, I don't know, what, Carl, do you think that that's pretty spooky? And weird, unnatural stuff?
So I'm just a bit livid today. I wasn't really listening to what you were saying.
Not paying attention?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Do you want to notify us before, we ask you
you
questions
are giving
and
to
stuff?
us. Go on.
No, it would have just been nice if you would have, like, warned me you were going to ask me about it. I'm just a bit livid.
Go on, what about?
Just...
Have I done
want to
something?
talk about... No, not you two. Just a bit livid.
XFM 104.9.